Okay, real talk, mama. Your nervous system is under attack. And if you're postpartum, whether it's been a year, 2 years, 3 years since having your baby, it's been hijacked since the moment that baby arrived. We're living in this overstimulated, overtired, and wired. And at the end of every single day, that's how we're feeling. And instead of winding down, we're doom scrolling. We're watching TV at 10 p.m. because honestly, it's the only quiet time we get. So we go to bed late, we wake up multiple times a night, whether it's our toddler waking us, our baby waking us, or we're just waking up, and we do it all over again the next day, exhausted. And listen, just because you're a mom does not mean that that's just how it has to be. Today is episode 100 of the Strong and Nourished Mama podcast. Welcome, and we are getting into all of it. Sleep, cortisol, fat loss, why your stressed nervous system might be the thing standing between you and actually feeling like yourself again. Plus, we are celebrating with a giveaway that is open right now, today, when this episode is being published. Stay tuned. I'm telling you exactly how to enter. Feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, or like you've lost yourself in the postpartum chaos? Whether you're 4 weeks postpartum, 2 years in, or done having babies, you deserve to feel like yourself again. Hey mama, I'm Val, a functional sports dietitian, postpartum fitness coach, and a mama who understands exactly what you're going through. Welcome to the Strong and Nourished Mama podcast, where you'll find simple, science-backed strategies to heal your core, rebuild strength, and restore your energy without the overwhelm. If you're ready to go from depleted to strong, nourished, and unstoppable, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. All right, welcome back to the Strong and Nourished Mama podcast. I am your host, Val Warner, board-certified sports dietitian, functional medicine practitioner, certified strength coach, and a real-life postpartum mom who is living everything I talk about on the show. Seriously, this is my life. And today is episode 100. I cannot believe that it is actually here. This is amazing. Seriously, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing the show, for sending me DMs, telling me that the episode hit different, that you're loving it. It literally means everything. And it is why I keep showing up every single Monday, week after week. To celebrate, we are doing a giveaway, and it is open right now when this episode is being published. So Monday, May 18th, 2026. Here's what you can win. First place gets a free 6-week strength program, plus a 30-minute one-on-one coaching call with me. Second place gets a $50 Amazon gift card. And third place gets 15% off my Strong, Nourished, and Energized Mom Method program. So it's my 8-week group coaching program. To enter, go to Apple Podcasts, search Strong and Nourished Mama, scroll to the bottom, leave a review, take a screenshot of it before you submit it, and DM me the screenshot on Instagram at wellnessbyval_. If you want a bonus entry to increase your chances of winning part of the giveaway, tag a mama friend in the giveaway post that I post today when this episode is being published, Monday, May 18th, because that'll double your chances for a giveaway. The giveaway closes Wednesday, May 20th, so you have 3 days to enter into this giveaway. And before we dive in, be sure to grab my free protein guide with recipes. It is the easiest starting point if you want to literally hit your protein without overthinking it. Sometimes it can feel like a full-time job, so that's why I created this protein guide with recipes for you. The link is in the show notes. Okay, let's get into episode 100. So before I get into the science today, I want to get personal because I think it's really important that you understand that I'm with you in this motherhood journey. I'm not just talking at you. This is my life. About 2 years postpartum, I looked at my life and I really looked at it. I assessed everything. I was working full-time in corporate wellness. I'm running this podcast. I have a private practice. I have a 2-year-old. I have a workout schedule I actually care about and maybe want to train for different competitions or different fun activities. And I have friendships I want to show up for. And I have a family. And all of those things are things I want. I'm not complaining about any of it, but the reality is that it is a lot when you look at it. It's a lot of load on one nervous system. And when I started thinking about trying for a second baby, okay, I'm ready to start trying to have another baby. I took my IUD out. I gave it a few months. I'm ready. I had to pause and actually ask myself, is my body in a place to do this? Not just physically, but is my nervous system resourced enough to go into another pregnancy? Because I knew what I knew. And I knew that if I went in depleted, running on cortisol, just pushing through, go, 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 not sleeping as efficiently as I could have been. I wasn't doing myself or a future pregnancy any favors. So I did what I tell my clients to do. I looked at my data. I assessed symptoms, and what I found, honestly, it really humbled me. For about 8 months, I had been eating roughly 500 more calories than my body actually needed to, because before that, I knew I was a little over exercising. I was training. I was running intensely. I was doing more high intensity interval training. I was teaching cycle, which is pretty intense, and along with everything else that I was doing, and my cycle had changed. And so I decided to, hey, let me look at my diet. Let me look. I need to reassess. I started to eat more, chill out on the exercise, but then I didn't reassess after that. And because of that, I've actually gained weight. And so I've talked about this in a previous episode where I use logging as this self-monitor tool to, not something that I do every single day, something that I just do to create awareness. And then I was able to see, man, I'm eating 500 more calories than I need to. I've been doing that for the last 8 months. Let me reevaluate, right? And also, because I was so busy and go doing so many different things, my cortisol was elevated. I was stressed. And when I actually started acupuncture at the beginning of 2026, which I cannot wait to dive more into this in a future episode. And that has helped tremendously. And I also made a priority with my sleep. I'm going to put boundaries here. I'm going to put boundaries there. And I'm going to make sure that I can actually support my nervous system. So I wasn't really fully connecting the dots until I slowed down and actually looked. So I dialed in my nutrition, and I continued exercise in a way that's going to be supportive for me. And I felt a difference before I saw a difference in these changes that I was making. And that is going to be true for you too. And often you start changing things and you expect to see a difference very quickly, right? Like we expect, okay, well, I started doing X, Y, and Z. I started really dialing in my nutrition. I started eating more fiber. I changed up my workout routine to something that was actually supporting my body, where I'm at in this journey right now. And I haven't noticed a difference. My body composition hasn't changed. This hasn't changed. I haven't seen, other things that we're expecting, because it's only been 3 weeks. So you're going to feel things before you actually see changes in the body composition numbers or whatever you're really assessing. So I felt a difference before I saw a difference. And that's going to be true for everyone. The scale is always the last thing to move. Your energy, your sleep, your mood, those things are going to shift first. And your digestion, that's all going to take time. And that's okay. That is okay. And I want to share a client story too, because I think this is one that is going to sound really familiar. She's a mom of 3. Her youngest turned 5 not too long ago. And she came to me frustrated because after her first 2 babies, losing weight wasn't really a struggle. Her body kind of just did its thing. She went back into her exercise routine, her nutrition. And so after her 3rd, when she started gaining fat mass instead of losing it like before with her two other babes, she genuinely did not understand why. Because on paper, when you're looking at everything, she was doing everything right? She was walking every single day. She was doing strength training. She was doing high intensity interval training a couple times a week. She was eating her vegetables, her fruit. She was focusing on protein. She was not someone who was ignoring her health. She was actively working at it, and her body was not responding. When we started really talking and diving into everything, what became clear was that her nervous system was running on fumes, literally running on fumes. She was going to bed late, waking up early. There was no real wind down routine, nor no sleep consistency. But she was still forcing the workouts because she thought more was the answer, right? And a lot of us, myself included, I get into this thinking process like, okay, I have to do more. I have to do this. And what she didn't realize is that for a chronically stressed nervous system, more exercise is more stress to the body, right? We're going to need more cortisol. Cortisol is not a bad thing. It doesn't mean that you have to stop exercising completely. It's just things have to shift, right? Because if your body is constantly pumping out cortisol, it's constantly feeling threatened with what you're giving or whatever is in the environment. It was the last thing her body needed with more intense exercise. And here's something we don't talk about enough. She was also constipated. Motility and digestive health, it was slow. It was sluggish, which I know is not like glamorous. People don't want to talk about this, but it matters so much. If your gut isn't moving, if motility isn't doing what it needs to do, those migrating motor complex, the MMCs within your gut, your body is not clearing excess hormones. It's not absorbing nutrients properly. It's actually going to increase inflammation. And that is a nervous system issue as well. Your gut and your nervous system are in constant communication 24/7. Okay. When one is dysregulated, the other is going to feel it. And the same thing goes with our hormones and everything else in the body too. So we pulled back, we added in a pre-bed routine, not something that took 10 hours, right? Something that's realistic for a busy mom. We focused on supportive nutrition, hydration, gut health. We built an actual rest and digest break routine during the day, which sounds small, but is genuinely so powerful. And before she saw anything change on the scale, she felt a difference. She felt a difference. Her sleep got better. Her energy shifted. Her digestion started moving. She started pooping daily and regularly, getting everything out, fully evacuating everything. And that is always how it goes. You feel it first. The scale is the last thing to catch up. And when you keep stepping on the scale, and you keep ignoring all those other things that are changing first that you feel, and you pay attention to that number, it's going to deter you from all of those supportive habits that you've been doing the last 3 weeks, the last 6 weeks. So I don't want you to let that stop you from doing those things that are actually going to lead to weight change, a loss in fat mass in the long run. But we can't expect that in 3 weeks, 6 weeks, even 3 months. I like to give ourselves 6 months to a year to really see those changes, and really also assessing and understanding if this is the correct time for you. So I'm wanting to try to have another second baby, right? So I'm not in a place where I'm going to try and get super lean. That's just not appropriate right now for me. I just have to dial everything in. I have to support my nervous system. And so everyone's going to be in this different place. Okay. Now let me explain why all of this is happening, because once you understand the science, everything starts to make sense. So it just makes so much more sense. And that's what I really want to explain to you. I want you to think about this for a second. With whatever you're doing, just think about this. You wake up tired. You're not groggy, but you're tired. Like you never fully got there or fully got like a good night's rest. You hit the floor running from the moment you wake up. You're making lunches, taking the kids to school. You're going to work. You have meetings after meetings after meetings, whatever the day looks like for you. Your nervous system is in go mode, going 1,000 miles down the interstate from the moment your alarm goes off, and it does not stop. You are making decisions. You're managing emotions, yours and everyone else's. Have mercy. Solving problems, holding the mental load of literally the entire household. And then finally, the kids go to bed. Oh my gosh, the kids are asleep, and you have this little pocket of quiet, and instead of winding down, your brain literally cannot downshift. So you scroll and you think, hey, this is my only time. I want to watch my show. This was literally me last week, you guys. Okay. For 2 of the nights last week, I wanted to hang out with my husband, and we wanted to connect, and then we wanted to watch a TV show that we've been, haven't caught up on, and we wanted to watch an episode. And so I went to bed late 2 nights in a row, and I totally felt it. And so I'm not saying that you can never do that ever in your life, but if we're doing that every single night, week after week after week, month after month, it's going to take a hit, right? So this next week, I've thought about that. I assessed it. This next week, okay, I'm going to really focus on my pre-bed routine. I'm going to stay consistent with my nighttime routine, because that sleep, if I don't get it, I feel it the next day. I feel it the next week. And so when you get this time, I totally understand, mama. You're scrolling. You haven't been on your phone all day. You want to get on Instagram. You want to watch funny TV shows. You want to just sit in silence and just decompress, because that is literally the only time of the day that belongs to you. And then you look up and it's 11 o'clock. It's 11 p.m. So you go to bed too late. You wake up multiple times a night. You have your kid, your toddler, maybe you have multiple kiddos, anxiety. Maybe you're just waking up for no reason between 1 and 3 a.m. And then the alarm goes off and you do it all over again. This is not a discipline problem. This is not you being lazy or unmotivated or bad at taking care of yourself. This is chronic nervous system dysregulation. And most moms just call it mom life. Like, oh, this is just like my life because I'm a mom. But here's what I need you to hear and actually listen. Your body is keeping score, okay? Which is actually a book and a book that I've been wanting to read. Another great book, this is like totally side note, is When the Body Says No by Gabor Mate. Highly recommend that book. Highly recommend the audio. I got the audio version and I absolutely loved it. So that's just a little side note. But it's true. Your body is keeping score. Your body knows. So let's really talk about what is actually happening inside your body. And I promise I'm going to try to make this just make sense for you, right? I don't want to get too sciencey, but I need to explain this system for you to really understand it. You have something called your autonomic nervous system. It runs everything in the background, your heart rate, your digestion, your breathing, your hormones. You don't consciously control it, and it just runs. Thank God, because that would suck to have to think about, okay, now I have to digest my food. Like if you had to think about that, now my heart has to pump, release blood, take in blood, like that sounds exhausting. Praise the Lord for the autonomic nervous system. But it has two branches, really three branches, the sympathetic, the parasympathetic, and the enteric nervous system. The enteric nervous system is known as the second gut because the gut has more nerve endings than the spinal cord, which is fascinating. But we're going to talk about the two main branches, the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system, think of this as the gas pedal. This is your fight, flight, or freeze response, your threat response, your go mode. When it is activated, your heart rate goes up. Digestion is going to slow way down. Your muscles are going to become tense. Your brain goes on high alert. Okay, it's brilliant. We need the sympathetic nervous system. It is designed to keep you alive. Someone cuts you off on the freeway. Oh my gosh, you start getting sweaty. Your heart rate goes up. Your blood pressure goes up. You're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. This is important. We need this. And then you kind of go back down after that, right? Here's the thing. The sympathetic nervous system is designed for short bursts. You run from the lion, you survive the threat, and then you recover. That's exactly how it works when you think of animals, okay? So if you think of a lion chasing a zebra and the zebra's in the fight or flight, the sympathetic nervous system, and then it gets away and then it just stops. Like you'll totally see that. Go to Disney Plus. I know you have Disney Plus, Mama. Watch the Lion Show. I forgot what it's called, but I love it so much. I was watching it with my toddler. And when you see the animals, even though the lion is still right there, they're like chill after. They recover. The sympathetic nervous system was never meant to be your permanent operating mode. And that's what we're living. Postpartum mom, whether you're newly postpartum, 3 years postpartum, maybe you're done having kids, but you have a 3-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 9-year-old. Like most moms are living in sympathetic dominance all day, every single day. Now, the second branch that we're going to be talking about is your parasympathetic nervous system. This is the brake pedal. You literally cannot drive a car without the gas pedal or the brake pedal. Same with the nervous system, same with the body. Both have to go from one to the other all the time. Think of your inhale as your sympathetic. You'll notice this if you track your heart rate. Heart rate's going to go up as you inhale, and as you exhale, nice and long, you're activating the parasympathetic branch, which is the brake pedal, the rest, the digest, the recovery mode, the safe mode. This is where healing happens, where your digestion actually works, where you absorb your food, where your body repairs muscle tissue. Hello, mama, working out. If you want to build that muscle and lose fat, this is where we need to be. In this branch, this is where your hormones regulate, where fat loss actually occurs because the body feels safe. And here's the piece that nobody tells you. You cannot heal, recover, lose fat, or build muscle in a body that never feels safe. Hail to the no. Your body's like, girlfriend, what are you smoking? Because I can't do that. I feel threatened all the time. Now, there's not a tiger chasing us, obviously, but think of all the things that I just explained that you have to do as a mom. The back-to-back meetings, the go, the calls, the this, the emails, the little one as you're cooking dinner, all of the things that you have to do. This is not a mindset thing. This is biology. Now, postpartum, as a mom in this motherhood journey, it is a massive, massive neurological event, not just a hormonal one, okay? Everything changes. Your sympathetic nervous system gets dialed way up. after birth. And it does that on purpose, praise, because heightened alertness, threat detection, waking at every sound, your body is protecting your baby. That is beautiful. It's also really freaking exhausting, right? You're like, I'm so tired. The problem is that most moms never get the signal that it is okay to come back down after that. The sleep deprivation keeps the sympathetic system fired up. Now, I know if you have an infant, you're going to be sleep deprived, right? But then you kind of get into this new routine with your baby as they get older, as they start to sleep more. My toddler's still waking up in the middle of the night, but I can still find this really good routine and still get good sleep because of the habits that we have in place and the systems that we have in place, which sounds kind of intense, but it's really not. We'll talk about it. So the sleep deprivation keeps the sympathetic system fired up. You're just hammering on that gas pedal. You're just going a million miles an hour in the neighborhood. Not safe, right? The mental load keeps it fired up. The pressure to bounce back keeps it fired up. You're scrolling on Instagram. You see so-and-so or this other girl. Oh my gosh, she just had a baby. Look, oh, she looks amazing. Oh my gosh. Your nervous system never got the memo that the emergency is over. And that is where cortisol comes in. When your sympathetic nervous system is chronically activated, your adrenal glands, they sit on top of the kidneys. They're going to pump out, of course, adrenaline and norepinephrine. So epinephrine and norepinephrine. And then about 10 minutes later, they're going to pump out cortisol. Cortisol is your primary stress hormone, and she is not the villain here, okay? Sometimes you'll see that people make cortisol to be the villain, but the cortisol in your body is doing what it needs to do based on the environment and the inputs that it's getting. It's not the villain because it actually literally gets you out of bed. It wakes you up in the morning. It's supposed to rise in the morning. It helps you respond to stress. It regulates inflammation. You need your cortisol. But it was designed for short bursts, not years of chronic activation. Years, decades of chronic activation. Here's what chronically elevated cortisol does to the body. It signals your body to hold on to fat, especially around your midsection. It breaks down muscle tissue, the exact opposite of what you're trying to do in the gym. It tanks your thyroid function, which slows your metabolism and wrecks your energy. It disrupts your hunger hormones, ghrelin and leptin, so they go completely haywire. So you're hungry, then you're not hungry. It's weird, you're confused, then you're standing in front of the pantry at 9 p.m., not even knowing what you want, and it wrecks your sleep quality. Even on the nights you actually get the hours, this is why you're tired, but you're wired. You can't fall asleep, or you wake up between 1 and 3 a.m. Your brain is like on fire and already running of all the things that you have to do the next day. So you're working out, you're trying to eat well, you're trying to be consistent, and you think your body's working against you, not because you're doing it wrong, but because your nervous system is in survival mode. Your nervous system's like, girlfriend, I'm just trying to keep you going, okay? Based, again, on the environment and the inputs that it's getting. So what does the fitness and the wellness industry tell you to do when you're not seeing results? Do more cardio, more restriction, more discipline, more willpower. And I want to call that out for what it is. It is terrible freaking advice for a postpartum mom with a dysregulated nervous system, okay? Here is what actually happens when you add high intensity interval training on top of chronically elevated cortisol. You get more cortisol. You are pouring gasoline on a fire. Your body is already in crisis mode and you are telling it to go harder. And it responds by holding on tighter. Now, does this mean high intensity interval training is bad because it's raising your cortisol and you can never do it ever? No. But maybe right now, let's chill out on the 3-4 high intensity interval sessions a week. And let's change up our routine a bit and something that's going to be supportive. Plus, if we're really doing high intensity interval training, we shouldn't do it more than 1 to 2 times a week. 3-4 times a week, that's too many times. And when it comes to undereating, which so many moms do, especially earlier in the day, I just had a conversation with a client earlier this week, barely eating anything and just relying on caffeine. Lunch is super small, and then dinner, and then starving at the end of the night. That's going to definitely affect things. So sometimes this can be intentionally. Sometimes it's just because life is chaotic. You forgot to eat. Undereating when your adrenals are already stressed tells your body there is a famine, even though you know there's not a famine, right? And a body that thinks it's starving does not let go of fat, it clings to it. It's actually going to use muscle for energy. And then someone tells you, just get more sleep. And honestly, cool, thanks, super helpful. Who's watching the kids, right? Like, I know I need more sleep. Who's watching the kids? Here's the real issue. The fitness and diet industry was not built for postpartum women and maybe even motherhood, moms in general. It was built for people whose nervous systems are regulated. You are not that person right now. I am not that person right now, and that is not our fault. And I want to be really specific about who I'm talking to here, because when I say postpartum, I don't just mean the first 3 months. And I've explained this plenty of times. I mean the entire 0 to 3 year window, and even just the entire motherhood journey, okay? Because your body is still recovering, your hormones are still recalibrating, your nervous system is still adapting long after the newborn phase ends. And as women, what's the next phase? Perimenopause and then menopause, right? And so there's so many different shifts and so many different things going on. This looks really different depending on where you are. If you're in that 0 to 12 month window after having your babe, your sleep is fragmented, your feeding schedule is all over the place, your hormones just went through a massive shift, your sympathetic nervous system is working overtime just to keep you functional. This is not the time to be going super, super intense unless your body feels safe. Now, some women will be in a place where, hey, you know what? Nervous system is in a good place. Your routines are really good. Baby is sleeping through the night. Yeah, let's play around with hitting it harder. If you're 1 to 2 years postpartum, you might feel more back to normal on the outside. Internally, cortisol and its rhythm, your thyroid, your adrenals, it may still be dysregulated. So even though you're not super close to birth, even if you have a 5-year-old, you still have a lot on your plate, mom, right? And so the nervous system can definitely still be dysregulated. And you can go through different chapters of your life where it's regulated and then something happens and it's all out of whack. So this is when I see the most frustrated moms come to me because they're doing everything right and nothing is working and they cannot figure out why. And if you're in that 2 to 3 year mark, maybe you're starting to think about trying again for another baby. Hello, me. That's my life right now. I'm speaking from personal experience. When my daughter turned 2 and I started thinking about a second pregnancy, I had to completely reassess what my body needed, because going into another pregnancy depleted is not the answer. Your body needs to be resourced, not running on empty. And your nervous system, it does not reset just because your baby turned 1. Like, okay, baby's 1. Like, let's reset. Everything's good. You know that. Like, babies are still going to wake up. Toddlers are still going to wake up. There's still a lot going on. Give yourself the grace. I have to give myself the grace. I have to constantly tell myself, okay, Val, give yourself grace. Where can we set up boundaries? What do you need right now in this moment? And the actual science to really understand what is going on, right? So the grace, the science to really understand, okay, this makes sense. Okay, so let's make this really practical. Here are the signs that your nervous system is dysregulated, and I want you to actually count how many of these land for you. And again, maybe right now, none of them land for you. Maybe one lands in a year. It's going to change all of the time because that's what happens in life. Things change. You wake up tired even after a decent night of sleep. Not a little groggy, but you're actually tired, like you never fully recovered. You feel wired at night, but you crash hard in the afternoon, like you got a second wind right when you should be winding down. Your weight won't move no matter what you do. You are consistent and you are not seeing results and you cannot figure out why. Recovery after workouts takes way longer than it used to. You're sore for days. You feel wiped out after training instead of energized. You're more irritable and reactive than what feels like you. Your fuse is shorter. Your emotions feel closer to the surface. Things that wouldn't have bothered you before, they're bothering you now. You get sick constantly. Your immune system is suppressed when cortisol is chronically elevated. So if you are catching every bug your kids bring home, that is information. Another thing to think about, it really kind of depends on the situation, is maybe cortisol is elevated, right? And then you go on vacation and then cortisol goes down. That's when you get sick. That's typically what happens when something to where you can actually relax and calm down. that's when the sickness comes. But if you're constantly getting sick, red flag. You have the low grade anxiety that you just kind of live with now, the constant hum of something in the background. You just accepted it as this is just mom life. And you feel like you're doing everything and getting nowhere. If you counted 4 or more of those, hi, this episode is for you, mama. And I want you to know that none of that is permanent at all. It is your body asking for something different. These are just your ways that your body's communicating with you. So let's talk about what you can actually do. And I want to be clear, this is not an overwhelming list. Pick one thing. Pick one thing. Start there. Number 1, stop training against your nervous system. This does not mean stop working out. It means match your training intensity to your actual recovery capacity. Strength training is genuinely your best friend here. It improves insulin sensitivity, supports cortisol regulation over time. It builds the muscle that protects your metabolism. But if you are exhausted, depleted, obviously sick, a walk and some mobility work is probably a good workout for the day for you, if that's how you're feeling. Not something super intense like CrossFit or high intensity interval training workout, right? That's not giving up. That's actually being smart. That's being flexible. Number 2, eat enough, especially protein and carbs. This is not the time to restrict. We want to, of course, make sure we're in a range that works for us. And that's something that I work with my clients. Low calorie eating is going to raise cortisol. And carbohydrates, I know everyone is scared of them, but listen, carbs actually blunt the cortisol response. Cutting carbs when you're already stressed is working directly against yourself. Focus on protein at every single meal to stabilize blood sugar and protect your muscle tissue, and actually eat enough food to fuel your life, and not just like if you're tracking calories, okay, it hits the number at the end of the day. Is it evenly distributed throughout the entire day, right? It's not just all your calories at the end of the day. Number 3, fix the bedtime situation. You don't have to go to bed at 9 p.m., but the doom scrolling, the TV until midnight is keeping your cortisol elevated right before sleep. Blue light, stimulating content, the mental load of scrolling, your brain cannot fully distinguish that from a real threat. And it's actually going to stop releasing melatonin when it should be releasing it at that time to help you go to sleep and stay asleep. And it's going to start pumping out cortisol. Even a 20-minute screen-free buffer before bed is going to change your sleep quality in a way that is actually measurable. Maybe right now you're like, Val, 20 minutes, that's insane. Do 2 minutes. Just do 2 minutes to start with. Do some deep breathing, listen to guided meditation, 2 minutes, and then you can slowly increase it from there. That is the one thing I want you to try first. And it's a hard thing. I know it. I know it's a hard thing. Believe me. Number 4, look at the root cause. If you have done all of these things and you still feel like something is off, something might actually be off. Maybe there's thyroid dysfunction, a disrupted cortisol rhythm, nutrient depletions. There's so many things that it could be. These are all things that are going to be testable and something that we can really assess. You don't have to guess. This is exactly what I do in my functional lab reviews. We look at what is actually happening inside your body so we can address it directly instead of just throwing things at the wall, right? Am I going to start with super expensive tests? No, let's start with the other things that I just talked about, and probably depending on your life, there'll be some other things that you may want to integrate, and then we can test when appropriate. If you are ready for a functional lab review, so if this is you, you've done all the things and you still feel like something is off, head to wellnessbyval.com/labs or check out the show notes to learn more about that. What I want you to walk away with today is that you cannot out-train, out-restrict, or out-discipline a dysregulated nervous system. The goal is to work with your body, to give it what it needs to feel safe. And life is a shit show, man. Like this year with my life and my family, like a lot has been going on and it's a lot. So I need extra nervous system support. My family needs extra nervous system support. You as a mom who's going through the same shit, you need extra nervous system support. 100%. And their support's going to look a little bit different depending on what's going on. The goal is to work with your body, okay? I want your body to feel safe. And when your body feels safe, everything else starts to shift. You're not broken, mama. You're not lazy. You are not failing. You are a mom living in a world that never slowed down long enough for you to actually recover. A go, go, go world. 100 episodes ago, I started this podcast because I was frustrated that moms were being dismissed, being handed generic advice, being told to just push through, bounce back, do more. And I wanted to build something different, a place where you could come every single Monday and hang out with me and get real information that actually applies to your life and to your body. And here we are. Episode 100, and we are just getting started. Thank you so much for listening, genuinely from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being here. It means the world to me. Now, go enter into the giveaway. Today is Monday, May 18th. The giveaway is open for 3 days. Go to Apple Podcasts. No matter where you are in the world, this applies to you. You can enter into the giveaway. Okay, I've never done that before, and I'm really excited to do this. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. If you don't have an iPhone or Apple Podcasts, create a free account. It takes 2 seconds. It literally does. Search Strong and Nourished Mama, scroll to the bottom, click review, put in your stars, type out your review, take a screenshot before you submit it, and then send it to me on Instagram at wellnessbyval_. If you tag a mama friend on the Instagram giveaway post, you're going to increase chances to getting into the giveaway, right? That doubles, that's a little bonus. So the giveaway closes Wednesday, May 20th, 2026, and I cannot wait to announce the winners. And don't forget to grab the free protein guide too. The link is in the show notes, or head to wellnessbyval.com/protein snack guide to be able to get that free protein guide as well. Okay. I will see you next Monday. Take care of yourself. Stay strong. Stay nourished. I'll see you next week. Hey mama, I hope you loved today's episode. If you got something out of it or simply enjoyed listening, would you please take 30 seconds to share it with another mom who could use the support? And if you haven't yet, I would be so grateful if you could leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you tune in. It truly means the world to me, and it helps the show reach more amazing moms like you. All right, time to go chase my toddler around. Stay strong and nourished, and I'll be back on Monday with another episode. Talk soon.